Morning. You know, we hear about all of these things going on with state education on the news, and we read about it in the newspaper, but until you actually go in front of a meeting, you don't grasp how much it means and how important these the policies are that are coming down. Yeah. And some of the things that I learned yesterday from this meeting were actually eye-awakening in regards to budget shortfalls and how the institutions, there's 34 institutions in the Washington State Board of Community and Technical Colleges, and every one of them is scrambling in reference to these budget cutbacks by the state. The staff, the instructors some of them are volunteering to take on more students in their classes than what their contracts say. It's an overburden for them. There's more students now starting to take online classes, which is also a burden on the instructors because it takes more time actually to do an online class than it does to do a face-to-face class. There are some students out there that are now taking hybrid classes, which means they're taking part of the class face-to-face like we are, and part of the class is being done online. And these are hopefully to help save money. But the institutions are really scrambling, trying to get the money, and the tuitions are just not covering it. The expenses that are coming in the income is not as much as the expense to run the college. And so the enrollment levels are higher than what they should be to be comfortable, and yet the door is closing on those new students coming in because they're running out of room. They're running out of places to put the students. There's not enough space for new students to come in. And so what some of the institutions are now doing is that they say, go ahead and get your prerequisites done first, and in 18 months you can join the program. And I'm sure some of you have already seen some of that. Yeah. You're being put off. You're being, get your requisites out of the way, then you can come in, because there's just too much of a waiting list. Yeah. And one of the things that I was impressed with is that they had a number of students up there just like you and myself, or you and I, and we all come from different walks of life. We're all here for the same reason, and that's to learn. Some of us come out of prison, some of us have come off the street, some of us come from well-to-do homes. But each and every one of us have the same goal, and that's to better ourselves. And I applaud each and every one of you for being here. It's a brave step that we've all taken. And the final note that I'd like to say is the changes that are proposed to the education system in this state, I don't necessarily agree with. There's too many open, unanswered questions. And what the governor proposes to do is to have an appointed director or secretary of education that would be appointed by the governor. And there's some downfalls to this. One of the major ones is that there's been very little research done as to how the effect would affect the economy, the financial aspects to the students, financial aspects to the institutions. If the governor gets voted out and a new governor comes in, they can change that superintendent at their whim, and then the policies start all over again. The other thing would be as far as the financial money's coming in. Who's to say that that money doesn't get thrown into a general fund and it doesn't get divvied up the way it needs to be done? It gets divvied up by the way the superintendent wants to divvy it up, the Secretary of Education. So there's a lot of ifs, a lot of things that just don't quite ring true for this new policy that they're trying to implement. And they're trying to push this through so that it would be passed in 18 months and implemented in 18 months. And that's just not right. And and we need to get involved with this, and we need to talk to others about it, and we need to find out anything else that we can. And I recommend highly that any of you that have the time to go to any one of these meetings. They are open to the public. Some of them are down in Olympia at the state board office. Some of them are held on the individual campuses. But I invite every one of you to go to any one of those meetings.
It's very much of an eye-opener when you actually attend a meeting. I suppose you read it and you hear about it, but when you actually see and you hear about all the struggles that each campus is going through, we found out, like Kim was saying, is 18 months for the nursing program. Students come in and they say, knock these out and then wait. You learn appreciation for the professors, where they're taking on more than they're contractually, I believe the word they use, were obligated to take on. Where they're constantly taking the flow and just, okay, come on, let's get you guys in. And they were saying the open door is closing on everyone. They're lacking funds anywhere and everywhere, and they're trying to distribute it, but it's just not working. And they're trying to allow access to people that are, what the word was, underserved, where they can, people that haven't been able to reach out, they can put their hand out and say, hey, come get some education, whether it be basic skills or be a degree. Another note on the governor's proposal, the representative that was there, she didn't answer any question. She was so vague, and she kept going back to, oh, well, it depends on the leadership transition, and that would knock out the board that we have right now, which we attended. That how these people, that are appointed to help figure out what's going to be with the community and technical colleges, she wants to wipe all that out and then create new leadership. But then she's saying, well, it just depends on how it transitions. And it was very frustrating to hear that it's all, oh, well, it just depends. But then there's been no fiscal research, anything to see how other states have done it. And they're going to put the bill through next week, the beginning. And they have no answers. She was tiptoeing through everything. And I personally I was getting angry because the governor wants to do all this, but okay, well then get your statistics out. Show us that it's going to work. Don't just say, I just want to do this. Let's just try it. And so it was very frustrating, but it was also a very good, rare experience to be able to see everything at work. That's what I have to say about it.
Yeah. It was basically more like going to a PTA meeting for yourself. And you figure out, you just figure out what's going on. And, for me, I thought, like, it was going to be more technical, or they're going to be speaking over my head where I couldn't grasp what they were saying. But, if the flow of everything was set up nice, and you understood everything from the beginning. And it was like, just like she said, the lady was like a dodgeball champion. She dodged every question that she could do. She dodged it, and she would say something, and then I forget the one lady's name, but she was like, well, okay, well, I'm going to repeat. She said, I'm going to repeat this in a different way, because you didn't answer my question, and she still didn't answer the question. So that makes me think this was more of like an introduction. They was trying to present just the bill, but it was pointless because they didn't have no research. Just like everyone said, it was just, well, this is what we're going to do. It was really scary because all the statistics was up what the school boards are doing now. So they're trying to implement something that really doesn't need to be implemented, And as far as like you said, the door's closing, so who's going to get left out? That's why everybody, everybody's getting laid off. So everybody's coming back to school to get retrained for a new position. And with that, now everybody's on a waiting list. If you're not the first ones in there, everybody's on a waiting list. And the teachers you guys are awesome. Because now that was just, for me, knowing what my barber instructor goes through. She's like one teacher and she has 25 students. And she has like 6 seniors, then it's like spread out. And she's going, I know it's driving her nuts, so I try to help her. But it was great. Especially when you heard the other students talk about their, what makes them better while they're in school, and it was just, I was like, oh my goodness, I should have been up there. And then what was great for me, I got my name mentioned twice. Nobody else did.